Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate, and I am honored to be having with me in the studio for tonight Engineer Ramez Barqouqi, the ICT and the digital transformation expert. Thank you very much for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate.
Thank you, and it's my pleasure to be with you today.
Anytime, the pleasure is all mine. Of course, we have seen the inauguration of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli of the Smart Transportation and the Logistic Conference and Exhibition for the Middle East and Africa, the Transme or the Transme. What is the importance of such an exhibition being held here in the country?
First of all, let me get highlighted about what is the digital transformation and technology playing a very big role nowadays in all organizations, and such conferences to be held in Egypt. It's major point that can we utilize it in the future, because all the companies and all even responsibility people that's coming to Egypt find out what is a new technology, what is the update about the transportation. Transportation is one of the sector that actually digital transformation playing a big role here in terms of different transportation technology, subways and other technology of transportation. So conferences is playing a big role in terms of gathering all the resources internationally from the companies, from the responsibility people, to come and find out where we are in the technology and how can we utilize this in the future. So I think it's become very important now to highlight this in Egypt, because all the development happened in the previous years in this term.
Yes, this inauguration by Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli was on behalf of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. We have seen over the past 9 years, for example, under the tenure of President al-Sisi, that there is always an importance given to the artificial intelligence, to the information technology, to the technology in general, and more specifically, as for today, in the field of transportation. What's the significance, as you mentioned, that people are coming from different sectors, from different regions, from many parts of the world, coming and seeing the technology that we would be having here in the future?
Yes, that's very important. Let me say, digital transformation actually is a part of Egypt Vision 2030.
Yes.
And that's what the government has started a long time ago in terms of preparing all the infrastructure of Egypt to be ready for that digital transformation journey. Starting from the infrastructure level of building a different fiber optics technology that is going to connect all the government and all the locations with different sectors to be in the same database scenario. The importance of that building of the infrastructure will impact the economy of what Egypt is looking for 23. This kind of conferences is bringing a lot of opportunities to the government and even to the private sector to prepare themselves in terms of equipment and in terms of the technology and the business as well. So it's very important to hold such conferences in Egypt, and also working together with the private sector to maintain our infrastructure to be ready for that.
Yes, you mentioned that a lot of people, a lot of investors, potential investors are coming. We have 350 companies coming from 50 different countries. What can be the outcome in terms of potential investments, in terms of getting more to know about this field in Egypt, and for their benefit as well, those representatives for the 50 countries from 350 different companies? What could they be getting at the end of this conference or the exhibition on the 8th of November?
100%. There is a lot of questions comes beside this conferences, like investor asking about how Egypt is ready to implement such technology of the artificial intelligence and even digital transformation.
Yes.
What's the efforts that the country have done to secure such opportunity for investing? And I think we did a very good job in the past 3 years in terms of building that infrastructure and to show the investor that we are ready to deploy such application in terms of transportation, agriculture, even in different sectors, e-health and technology of education as well. So this conferences is just an important station that all the investors come to Egypt and realize how far we reach that level and start investing in Egypt in terms of transportation and different technology.
Yes, regarding transportation in specific, the main aim for this exhibition is to be nationalizing the transportation industry here in the country. Is it a realistic target, or how many years could it be taking?
Well, everything in stages. We as a technology developers, we believe in the stages, so we need to start in the different stages. So I think Egypt has started already the infrastructure level for that target, and we are willing to have more expertise and more cooperation with the different companies to start localizing the transportation technology in Egypt. And I think this conferences, it comes with actions plan. I think the government will come with this action plan to start building and operating different sectors of that with the investors as well.
Yes, we have seen during the inauguration of the exhibition that Egypt has had big strides, as you mentioned, over the past 5, 3, 6, 7 years, maybe until or at the beginning of the 9 years under the tenure of President Sisi. We have seen the construction of the third metro line, the high-speed train, the electrical train, the monorail, all those things that we have had over the years here in the country. What does this say about the future of transportation and nationalizing this industry in the country for the people coming from outside of the country? What does this say about us?
Okay, well, you mentioned a very important project that has been done in Egypt in the past 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
And to highlight more in this kind of project, this kind of project is actually used a high-tech in terms of operation of that project,
yes.
Which means it's not the traditional transportation that we were working before. We have a database, we have a huge database that has been built in a new capital. And this database owns the whole information, including the transportation one. So we work in infrastructure and we work in a cloud network that have all the information to be treated and operated to the transportation means here in Egypt. This conference comes to have the know-how of what these other companies and other countries are working in terms of transportation. And we can take what ends in the world and come and apply it here in Egypt in the technology point of view. Me as a technology expert,
yes.
I can say very clearly that Egypt is now moving in the right way, moving to build the infrastructure, which is the main concept of digital transformation, artificial intelligence. To have infrastructure can sustain and can also accommodate multiple applications in the transportation point of view. And we have seen also extending this transportation in different areas in Egypt.
Yes.
Not even in Cairo or Alexandria. We already expand our transportation to the Upper Egypt as well through the new railway lines that has been done in the past 3 or 4 years as well.
Even Alexandria could be getting a new metro line there as well.
Exactly. And this is facilitates a lot of things in the country. To be honest with you, even the tourists, when they come and find a network of transportation well-equipped and very advanced, that they can use it instead of any local transportation and such on. So we are modernizing Egypt in the transportation, by the way, should be as a vision of 23. Of Egypt.
Yes, of course, we have a very important factor when it comes to technology, to developing artificial intelligence, to the information technology, which is the environment, because we have hosted the COP27 here in the country in the past year, in November in the past year. The United Arab Emirates will be hosting this edition in COP28. So having transportation means which are environmentally friendly is of utmost priority nowadays. How can we be doing both to be balancing, having technology, developing artificial intelligence in transportation, information technology, all those things at the same time taking care of the environment?
That's a very important question, and that's, I think, one of the top topics that all the organization has taken regarding even climate change.
Yes.
So green power and the green environment is things that really important for our organization now. So all the manufacturing, all the governments and organizations, even in the international society, they are looking for means of power that actually sustain the environment and not threat the normal environment that we have. And that's what even Egypt started to do in a lot of areas, like solar cells, like how we can get the power of nitrogen, green nitrogen, and other means of maintaining the power without the traditional power we do.
Yes.
So climate change is one of the top topics that is also interested in terms of technology, because we need to deploy technology, at the same time we need to maintain our behavior towards the environment.
Yes. There is a space in the exhibition allocated for the Egyptian youth and for the Egyptian university students that have innovations in this field of transportation and information technology or the artificial intelligence. What is the importance of giving the youth of Egypt, giving the students of Egypt a chance of being seen and heard by 350 companies coming from 50 different countries?
Interacting between students and the big organization that attend this conference is a key to even open the way for them to deploy what they have studied in the university to the real market.
Yes.
They need to understand what is the real market needs. And normally we say that for the students and even the fresh grad engineers or whatever, you need to look at what the market needs. Then you start innovate, start deploy such project that can work with the market. So hosting the conference, the students to be interacting with the different companies, it's key for the new generation to start building what we are looking for. At the end of the day, we are not talking alone, we are talking in the global market. So it's very important that the students understand what the market needs, what's the new technology, and then go back in the labs and deploy what they found, even in the conferences, practically and do it fine. And good to say that the new capital have a lot of research and development in the technology and artificial intelligence. We have many colleges now that only learning artificial intelligence and digital transformation, which is also very important to get the new generation familiar with that one and starting to innovate in that technology. All the world are learning in artificial intelligence at the moment.
Yes, and finally, the Minister of Transportation, Kamil Al-Wazir, he gave us a detailed briefing on the exhibition and the products in this field of transportation that were made here in the country. What is the importance of telling the world that we are already manufacturing a lot of parts of the transportation industry here in the country?
That's very important. We have two important points about telling the countries that we are manufacturing. First of all, that we have local markets that can satisfy our needs in terms of the parts of the transportation. The second one is for the other countries that they don't have ability to manufacture this kind of items, they can start coming to Egypt and asking for the items. We can help them build up a transportation system like we have done in the past 3-4 years. So it's kind of, we are marketing ourselves in the world. At the same time also, we have the ability and acquire more investors in the nearest future.
Yes, Engineer Ramez Al-Barqouqi will be going to the first report designed for this topic of the daily debate for tonight, which focuses on the national strategy for artificial intelligence here in Egypt. As I mentioned at the beginning, that we'll be focusing on such an important topic, of course, in collaboration, in cooperation with the UNDP, with the Egyptian government. All this and more in the upcoming report, so stay tuned.
Intelligence is considered an icon that has brought about a real leap and a scientific breakthrough in many developed countries. Perhaps this is what prompted Egypt to adopt it in the context of moving towards a better future, by developing and exploiting technology to provide the best service for the advancement of the state and society together. The national strategy for artificial intelligence in Egypt is based on three main axes, with education and training, then making practical use of the volume of dense data in Egypt and making that data available to the private sector, each in its location, to benefit from it according to its importance for each separate sector. The strategy includes plans to make Egypt a world leader in the field of artificial intelligence, in addition to developing an integrated system that employs artificial intelligence in the vital areas of the country. The Ministry of Communications and Information Technology is cooperating within the framework of the National Strategy for Artificial Intelligence with major international specialized companies in order to implement projects in applied research using artificial intelligence technologies in the various sectors of the country while transferring knowledge to Egyptian youths. The state's interest represented by the government in digital transformation comes in many decisions and executive images, the latest of which is the implementation of the decision to deal in all government agencies through electronic payments so that the state will complete its path towards advancement of services provided to citizens by working on the national strategy for artificial intelligence to employ it in the vital areas of the country. The strategy works to accelerate the implementation of development programs and projects to reach the future, relying on artificial intelligence in services and data analysis at a rate they may reach 100% in addition to improving government performance, accelerating achievement, creating an innovative work environment, creating a new promising market in the region with high economic value, and supporting private sector initiatives and increased productivity. For example, the strategy aims in the transport sector to reduce accidents and operational costs in the health sector to reduce percentage of chronic and serious diseases, and in the space sector to conduct accurate experiments and reduce rates of costly errors, in addition to the renewable energy sector through facilities management and smart consumption. This is within the framework of Egypt's Vision 2030, which seeks to make the Egyptian economy a disciplined market economy characterized by stable macroeconomic conditions capable of achieving sustainable inclusive growth and characterized by competitiveness, diversity, and knowledge base.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate, and I'm honored to be having with me in the studio for tonight Engineer Ramez Barqouqi. As we have seen in the past report, Egypt has a lot of achievements in terms of trying to get near the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Of course, we have a vision here for 2030 for sustainable development. How can the digital transformation help us achieve those goals?
Actually, the digital transformation, main rule of it, how to take the right decision in the right time. So collecting data, collecting information is a key for getting all these projects succeed. That's what Egypt is starting to do, is to digitalize all the information in a specific clouding and server, then start analyzing this data professionally and get the right direction and right decisions. What Egypt did is starting to build up this database, starting with a new capital in the main cities. Then after that, gathering and connecting all the government locations along with a one single network to decrease the cost and also to decrease the time of processing data. We have almost each single hour changing millions of data between the different government locations, which can be in the past changing by paperwork. So changing paperwork to be digitalized is a key to start succeeding in this all the project. That's the first stage even of the digital transformation. The second stage is how to deploy this information in a different sector in the market to start providing the project success for the 17 project that the UN is starting to do to even protect the climate change,
yes,
like we said.
Yes.
So getting to that level, start building the humans that have the expertise of the digital transformation, building the education system that's showing the new generation is the main target of the digital transformation for that. Also to build a research development center that can analyze and get more details of that one, and to build on top of that some solutions that can help the market and the local market for all the projects that you do. Cooperation with international companies doing that job is also key, and that's what we are holding a lot of conferences in Egypt and starting looking for the partner work with us hand to hand to start working that side of solutions. The last one is a fast decision.
Yes.
And I think most of the government location now have the data that can allow them to take a fast decision for that site.
You've mentioned the climate change, as we have spoken about it regarding the transportation and manufacturing, the environmentally friendly transportation systems and, of course, products here in the country. How can the digital transformation go hand in hand with protecting the climate, the green economy as well? How can this be a green transition, if we can call it that? And how can you assess this process going here in the country?
Well, that's how the machine learning is playing the big role now. In the digital transformation, we have different tools to deploy this one, like artificial intelligence and the machine learning. How to do the machine, to make the machine start working smartly without the having humans interact or human interfere. That's the main point that we are working on. Solar cells and electric machines that we are working in the transportation is a part of our transition to the green environment, and that's why we have the electric train that has been done by the transportation ministry. We have also the solar cell in a different location of the government. We are trying to decrease any emissions or anything that can be harmful for our environment, and also to utilize the technology that we have to start green power. There's something called green power. Yes. Green power, which is not related to the fuel or oil and gas, is actually related to the electric and the solar cell and the clean and power resources. Yes. Let me say that. So we already have deployed that one. We are doing a lot of research of how to deploy more in different areas, including the transportation means that we mentioned in the beginning. So that's really the key to start transition in the green environment, like I said.
Do you have any concerns regarding the digital transformation here in the country, and maybe in general, more specifically, the potential disruption for the labor market?
Well, that's one of the points that concern the international societies, not only in Egypt.
Yes.
And also another concern, I'll take it one by one, if you allow me to do that.
Please
the first
do.
one is a human labor, and the second one is security, which is the key point for the artificial intelligence.
Yes.
If you go digital, it means that all your information and everything is becoming in the cloud. So you have to make sure that you are secured. You have your own database and data centers. You have a proper security tools in place to save your data, because everything is became in the cloud. So
yes.
There is a lot of research happening. So there is a lot of fear in the whole organization in that artificial intelligence, ending even by the biggest companies doing artificial intelligence, OpenAI. They stopped even research of the artificial intelligence for 6 months. They are worried to extend more research before even do a proper law that can organize the artificial intelligence in terms of security point of view. For the human labor, definitely there is a lot of jobs will be disappeared with the time, but it doesn't mean that there is new job come on board. So that's kind of transition of the technology. So, for example, you have to get your own skills now to be hired or to get the good job that match it with the market needs. That's why we normally advise everyone in any organization or even a student to start build his own skills, which is what market need in terms of artificial intelligence. So be requested for the specific job that he's looking for. So this kind of development, or human development, very important to secure your job in the future, which is a very key.
Are we ready for this transformation, for this transition, especially in terms of education and especially in terms of the mindset of the student himself or herself, that we need for the future to be having a background or information about the information technology, about the potential of the artificial intelligence in my field, even in this field that we are speaking of right now? Do you think that we have this mindset, we have the capabilities for the education? Do we have the learning proceedings that could be giving us this opportunity for the future?
Egypt started to do that since 3-4 years. We already built some materials that be studied by the students, even in the school now. Start explaining for them the basic features of the artificial intelligence, what is the importance of that, what is the main definition about it. But we are still not 100% ready to deal with that, which is all the world, by the way, is not ready. Even the companies that generating such tools of the artificial intelligence is not ready to have the 100% secure about it, which is very important to keep searching, keep learning, and keep also partnering with the international organization that have the know-how of that technology. I think we have more than 12 colleges now is dealing with artificial intelligence. All the engineers now, and the students of engineering, let me say, they have the ability to deal with artificial intelligence tools. The schools, there is a lot of materials has been added in the education program. So as a new generation, we have the know-how in terms of academic knowledge. The only thing I'm looking for now, how to have a practical hands-on on that kind of technology in terms of developing that technology. I don't like to be user, I like to be a developer of that technology, so you can even save yourself from any threats can happen by that technology as well.
You mentioned the international organizations and the possibility of partnering with them. We have a big partner nowadays with the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, which is the United Nations Development Programme, the UNDP. What are the possibilities of this cooperation?
The possibility of the cooperation is sharing the know-how and knowledge in the artificial intelligence digital transformation between the different countries. It will allow us to open our eyes in the different areas in artificial intelligence and how to even to start preparing the regularities for that artificial intelligence using. And also it will allow and help us to maintain local projects that based on artificial intelligence and digital transformation in a different sector, which is, I'm very keen to say a different sector, like agriculture, education, e-health, payment and fintech technology, things that is coming with a new era now in terms of payment and e-payment as well, also in the education sector. So all of this cooperation and even partnership with such organization, like you mentioned, it will allow us to go deeper in that kind of technology and even utilize it in the right way. With the country here in Egypt.
Do you think that the future of digital transformation for the whole world could be solving the pressing issues for Egypt and for the entire world as well? Because every country has different challenges, different obstacles. Can this help in solving those issues?
That is a good question, by the way, and this question has been taken forward to the different government. And I have attended one of the conference, I think last month, is talking exactly about this point. We say that different countries have a different prospects and different even regularities. So the point now, how to reuse the artificial intelligence, by the way, that can allow you to develop your own needs in the country and leave whatever that you don't want in that country. So that comes from the government, and that's what Egypt is starting to do, such study of how we can deploy the artificial intelligence. They start to put different units in the different sector. At each ministry we have a department called digital transformation. The main role of that unit is to teach the employees about what is a digital transformation, how you deploy it, how you log in, how you do all of that. So it's very important to, let me say, customize this kind of technology, by the way, that match with our needs and our prospects in Egypt.
Yes, Engineer Ramez Barqouqi, and one of the main challenges that we have here in the country is to be incorporating the artificial intelligence and increasing the contribution of the artificial intelligence to the gross domestic product, or the GDP, to be becoming 7.7% by the year 2030. We have more details regarding such an issue and such a target in the upcoming report. Stay tuned.
Egypt targets increasing the artificial intelligence contribution to the GDP to 7.7% by 2030, affirmed the Information and Decision Support Center. This requires attaining tangible progress in digital transformation and collecting usual data on which the artificial intelligence applications depend, added the IDSC in its newly issued series of visions on road to development. The series, issued under the title Financial Technology Opportunities and Challenges, aims to review the financial technology sector in Egypt and analyze its tools. It also aims to analyze challenges besetting the private sector in financial technology services. Meanwhile, the series shed light on efforts exerted by the Egyptian government in order to facilitate the integration of innovative technologies into financial services provision as part of Egypt Vision 2030. The IDSC in the series also pointed out to efforts led by the Central Bank of Egypt, which include launching fintech and innovation integrated strategy in March 2019, along with establishing a fintech hub The CBE also financed investment innovation in financial technology sector that has achieved phenomenal success over the past 2 years, noting that the Arab Monetary Funds said that Egypt leads 9 Arab countries in terms of electronic payment services and digital wallets. Egypt also acquired 25% of the Middle East's financial technology deals in the financial technology sector. Egypt's National Telecom Regulatory Authority advanced 43 places on the Mobile Monetary Regulatory Index. The financial technology industry in the Middle East is growing rapidly, with registered revenues hitting about $337 million between 2015 and 2020.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate. Engineer Ramez Barqouqi. As we have seen over the past report, this target of Egypt to be increasing the share or the contribution of the artificial intelligence to be contributing to the GDP or the gross domestic product by 7.7% in about 7 or 8 years' time. Realistically, on the ground, how can this be translated into money and the economy?
I think what Egypt has started to do is to maintain all the resources they have to match with what digital transformation artificial intelligence is need.
Yes.
So injection artificial intelligence in the different sector is a key. I think what Egypt has started to do, if we talk about transportation, all the clouding details and all the operation of that kind of transportation is done from the data center of that one. Also for the agriculture, there's a lot of solutions happening in that side. And we even look for how to maintain that solutions to start working in that farming and so on. The fintech, which is the new era, like I said before, about the e-payment and to decrease the costs and even the steps to be doing. All of that facilitating of the artificial intelligence different area, it will allow the economy to grow. It will even start attracting the investors to come around and start preparing for own projects locally. And also, I think the government have done a very good job in terms of localizing a lot of things that happened before, and even start importing that kind of technology. It's called digital importing, which is importing should not be only goods, but also the knowledge and the solution and technology point of view.
Yes.
And I think the Ministry of Communication and Information have done that in several times to grow the importation of and exportation also of the digital solutions abroad.
Yes, in terms of the digital transformation, of course, we need a high speed of the internet. We need a good ranking for Egypt in the internet index worldwide.
Yeah.
We have improved over that in the past couple of years in 2020, 2021, reaching the rank 73 around the world out of 130, 150 countries. How can we be keeping improving on the internet index? What is the importance of it in a way?
Well, very important to rank the Egypt within this kind of map. The reason for this, again, the investors look for this kind of stuff and see how the infrastructure is ready to start deploying the project. There is 3 main factors to improve this index of Egypt globally. The first one is the coverage. We need to make sure that the internet is reaching all the level of people in even different locations.
Yes.
And that's what Egypt started to do by building a lot of fiber optics in the different areas and start linking all of that areas along with the
Even
internet.
in the countryside?
Yeah,
through Haya Karima.
Haya Karima, exactly. This is one of the major projects that help even the villages and even the rural area to start having access to the internet. The second point is a capacity, which is how can you accommodate the number of people in your own network clouding, which is very important to accommodate this number of people in application in your area. Then the third one is the optimization, the speed of internet, and how the internet quality should be in a different locations. I think we work in that hard, and that will even maintain our ranking in that index in the future.
And how can all those steps be improving the services being provided for the micro and small and medium enterprises? How can they benefit out of that?
That's very important. Actually building this network of the fiber optic to start offering this enterprise sector.
Yes.
Let me tell you that most of the advanced countries that have major part of the economy comes from that micro enterprise sector, which is the small projects, even the small customers dealing with that to grow their own economy, not only in the super or mega projects, but also by the small projects that can be deployed in any part of Egypt. That's why access to the internet to that location is very important to start deploying that enterprise sector in different locations.
And can this be providing us with more job opportunities, the potential at least of it?
Absolutely. That's why we now looking for more job opportunities for the people. No matter you even how your experience is, but you can get trained and you can start joining this kind of program projects for the job.
Yes, Engineer Ramez Barqouqi, the ICT and the digital transformation expert. Thank you very much for being with us tonight
really
on the Daily Debate. Anytime. And this brings us to the end of the Daily Debate for tonight. Thank you for watching and goodbye.